Hey there, good morning, I'm John. Today is Wednesday, January 19th, 2024. This is my daily vlog, my regular ritual stand-up, talking about what I've been doing and doing next to try to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. And I have a topic for today, we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday started, of course, with the podcast edit. Well, started with me standing here, and then the podcast edit. Was a really easy show to edit for some reason. It really flew by. We got not only get the whole hour plus edited in just under 2 hours, but we got the graphic work done. We got the tagging, the upload, we did all that on the stream, and about 10 minutes after 12 or so, we were wrapped up. We got it all done. Over the course, we had about 30 people throughout the course of the day show up there. Several people popped in during the stream to renew their Prime sub, but also I saw your notes in the vlog here as well. Thank you so much, telling me that you popped in and did that. So just grateful that you take the time. Look, I know it doesn't cost you money, which is fantastic, right? But it helps us financially. But it just takes a little effort, and I appreciate that little effort in your day. Think of it as do it during work while you're being paid, and then you can be paid to pay us. See how great that is? Shh, don't tell your boss I said that. So once that was done, took a lunch break, came back, and as I told you, I wanted to focus on getting that editorial out yesterday. And did, of course. It was about Yars Rising. There was such a vitriolic fan response, a very divisive fan response about the game. People that just didn't like the direction that it took, and they were mad at it. And I didn't understand. I wanted to look at that. And so let's talk about the video overnight. It's done about 2,500 views, which is fine. It's on the low end of recent videos, but it's only about 20% lower. And it still has some life in it because Yars isn't coming out till September, so there's still some time. But also I want you to note, -3 subscribers of that video. That's okay. We'll talk about that in a second at the end of this, vlog. Interesting. Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk about stats. Kind of a weak day yesterday for subscribers, quite weak. But even seeing that -3 on that video, we were up. It was a positive gain. But a little chart that I have here, of course, I like to be in the middle if I could, which is an average over the last 7 days of 50 subscribers and 10,000 views. Subscribers still back down a little bit, around 22, about half of where I'd like to be. But views up about 9,500, almost at my metric, so it's climbing a little traction, which is great. As a weekday yesterday, no new milestone, about 30 off of it, so maybe tomorrow if we get a strong today. I'm not holding my breath, but certainly by the end of the week we'll see our next milestone. So let's talk about today then. So a few things to do. So we have podcast recording on Friday and Saturday. We're breaking it up this week, but I have a little bit of writing to do. I'll start some of that today. Do a little Friday plays research just as I'm getting ready for that. I have a few more details to iron out to understand about this game that I don't know well. And I have a real life out in the world appointment that I have to go to at noon today. So it means I have to put on pants and get a shower and get out of the house at a certain time and go meet a human being in the real world, instead of sit and play in my little dungeon here. But I want to get back from that if I have time. I will have time in the afternoon. I'd like to start looking at the gadget that I got a couple weeks ago that I plan on trying to get a video out about. Probably not this week, probably early next week is my guess. And I have some writing to do for another project that had to do with that collaborator I met with earlier in the week rather. So look, there's a lot of little things to do today leading up to Thursday, Friday, which is, Thursday is kind of like, okay, do the Friday plays, prep for Friday, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of minutia to take care of throughout the course of today. So not any one big task. So I said I wanted to talk about that editorial. So the thing I miss so much is and I think it's, I don't know that it's global. I think it's United States. I think it's local culture, is the ability to have civil discourse and disagreement without rage. I like to disagree. That's what I mean. When I disagree, I like to talk to the other side and understand why we disagree. I like to understand how people think and what am I missing that you're so vehement about one side and I believe it's the other way. Talk to me about it. But look, I wanted to do that editorial because I saw a very like angry, a minority, I guess, I'm not sure, angry segment of fans who looked at that new game based in the universe of Yar's Revenge, but looking very, 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 very different, who were mad at it, you know, and literally saying, this is not a Yar's game. I'm like, I get that. I get the sentiment. It's not what I expected. It's not what I wanted, but you understand. Literally, it is. Atari owns the IP. They have the copyright. They made it. They said it is a Yar's game. You don't have to like it. So just saying that made people mad in comments. I had to ban one person who just would not stop raging with the random capitalization and poor spelling and name calling, even after I kept coming back saying, I appreciate your input. No need for this, you know, this mean-spirited discussion and name calling. And it just was more and more and more. And so I had to, you know, I've learned over the years, those people don't want to talk, they want to rage. And I'm not going to let them rage in our comments section. But that was just like the outlier. There were also this subset of people that got angry, including, so in my, in the video, in case you didn't see it, I make the parallel and I go, this reminds me of Star Trek fans. I could have easily said Star Wars or whatever, who there's a new show comes out and they say that's not Star Trek because it's not something that they wanted to see or that they expected or they agree with. And I had at least one person that commented, when you defended new Star Trek, I unsubscribed. Wow. First, that shows your bias. I didn't say I was talking about modern Star Trek. The same thing happened to The Next Generation back in 1987 when people were angry that this is not Kirk and Spock, therefore it's not Star Trek. And now look how that's revered. So the person that raged at me for saying I was talking about like Discovery and, you know, Prodigy and whatever, I didn't say any names of shows, just the franchise. They showed their bias in their rage at me. You know, the fact that you defended this thing that I think you're defending, and they don't want to talk about it. They didn't want to discuss it. They wanted to inflict pain, which unsubscribe was the most pain they could inflict, right? But even after, in the video, when I describe, you know, literally, I even acknowledge, look, hey, it is a Yar's game. I connect the dots, but then I go, but I understand that's not what you mean. You mean it's not what you wanted to see or expected. And even then, comments, I don't care what you say, it's not a Yar's game. It literally is. And I even say in the video, trying to encourage discourse, I say, tell me in the comments what you think. But not just what you think, why you think it and how you arrived at that decision. People don't want to do that. People are unwilling to do that. I say people, a lot of people. Some people were tremendous, and I had several people that I disagreed with and talked to in the comments yesterday. I was very busy last night in the comments section. So that video I said did not awesome. It did incredibly well for engagement. There was tons of back and forth. I had a really good time discussing it with the people who wanted to discuss it. And a couple of commenters who I even commented in the course of it saying, by the way, I very much appreciate you being here and being able to discuss this while we disagree. I value you. And those kind of people understand and look back and say thank you, and they continue to discuss. It's just so disheartening. It feels like political discourse. You know, what do we have? Starting back 5 or 6 years ago, we had the fake news and the alternate facts and things like that. You know, here's a fact. No, I'm going to say this is the fact and ignore that. What if I prove this fact? We don't want to hear that. I've already decided this is the fact. Well, does it matter if that's wrong? Or state your opinion as opinion, not as fact. And your opinion does not debunk a fact. It's so frustrating because, look, discussing things and understanding other people's perspectives and why they don't agree with you, that's how you grow as a person. I'm not sure I'm right. I'm sure of my opinion, and I'm sure of the facts that I've laid out. If you can provide facts that are contrary to mine, well, then we can debate about that. But your opinion does not negate a fact unless you have proof otherwise. That is the scientific method, being willing to change your opinion once the evidence proves you wrong. Science is struggling in general. I don't mean just in the sciences. I mean the scientific method is struggling in society. And I saw a microcosm of that in the comments section of this video, where we had people that agreed with me, and that was fine. And I thanked them, but I mean, those, you're in my camp. If I have a camp, you agreed with what I said, or you liked the opinion that I had, or you agreed with the facts or whatever, and that's fine. Some people said, I'll wait and see, which I liked even more. It was like, you haven't formulated an opinion. But there were so many. I guess the premise of the video was accurate, because if I felt there was a lot of people that were vehemently angry about the art direction of a video game, I was right. And they came out in force and telling me and giving me what for. And about a third of them would start to discuss. About a third of them stood firm and said, no, you're wrong, stop talking to me. And about a third of them were very, very aggressively angry and attacking about it. Out of all that, I only had to block one person who was actually, destructive. But I don't mind if you disagree with me. That's great, because I like to discuss that. Like I said, I hate when people disagree stating their opinion as fact, or just stating an opinion with no supporting evidence. No, the sky is green. Okay, you feel that way, but can we talk about it? Because the evidence seems to support that it's not. No, it's green, shut up. I can't talk with that. I just thank you for watching. That's all I can do. Anyway. I think that video might continue to do more leading into September as we see more stuff. That's the release time of that game. But it was a busy evening in the comments section. And if you get a chance to watch, and if you haven't yet, chime in with what you think. Or if you disagree, even that's cool. It's just it's disheartening when it's not like we're talking about life and death. It's entertainment. It's leisure. It's a game. Let's talk about it and have fun around it, even if we disagree about the premises or the choices that are made. That's what there's a segment of fandom, and people even talked about this in the comments. There seems to be a section of fandom that enjoy being mad about the thing they love, or any little changes or modifications to the thing they love. That's how they get enjoyment out of it. And I guess you're entitled to get enjoyment the way you want, unless it's destructive to others' enjoyment. But again, I'm not blocking you for disagreeing. It's just, it saddens me that hating something is the way people are starting to enjoy it. That's not healthy, is it? I don't think it is. Okay, I've talked long enough about this. Let me know what you think, not just about the game, or not that at all. What are your feelings about that? Or it's a big topic, and more than can be encapsulated in this little goofy vlog of mine. So. Hey, I'm gonna get busy. Thanks for popping in to check out today's vlog. If you did, if you're here every day, I love you for that. Have a great, Wednesday. Remember to do something good for yourself if you can at all, because you deserve it. And I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.